Storm a bit more standard in their composition. We'll see if standard wins the day in game number 1 with J-Mac and Gormizer.
Yeah, it's a more meta-standardized style of draft from the Shibaba Storm, but the Valkyries return to form with their double assassins, warchi, once again piloting the Camazotz in the
yes,
duel.
you might be able to make something happen, but I don't mind them just showing face, being a little aggressive, forcing something to happen. They don't get any relics, though, and so it's just going to be a small reset. They might be able to find something more, but this is, I think, the amount of pressure you need to apply. Either get the fight or get the buff, find success in one way or another.
Rotwin goes in aggressive, uses his jump to find a stun.
Big rotation.
Now we have a rotation in from the mid laner and from Worst Turtle. Valo sticks around a little too long, gets caught out, and he drops down. And Mando will be short to follow after the 4v3 comes up all positive for the Valhalla Valkyries. 2 picks and maybe a third. Hook does connect from Rotwin, but Dingodile too far into the tower to go any further.
From happening to be able to save teammates, and so Valo stays a little longer than they would like. And I don't know that it's going to work out here.
Oh, man. Well, at least for the Storm, they're able to take down the enemy's support, but Worst Turtle is going to turn this one around, waiting for the Disapparate to fade away. Dashes into the path, and a perfect cutoff by the double assassins of the Valhalla Valkyries. That puts them up 3-1 to start this game.
A lot more of a commit for these assassins to be able to do the same. You need to be winning these fights, and you need to be winning them as handily as they have been. And you can't be getting caught out. You can't be finding opportunities where maybe Mando can turn it around.
Man, it has just been
so
pull. Much pressure thrown towards Mando, but Valo and Dingo are here to help out. The landfall is good to pull Mando back in, but Valo has already taken Warchi out of the fight, and the 4-man rotation from the Shibaba Storm answers back. But now what would the answer be? Maybe to the right side. Worst Turtle finds the pull on Malachi, but not enough follow-up
damage. Honestly,
damage.
I like to see, again, it's a small amount of presence, but now Nil doesn't feel as safe over in right as they should have. Valo, though, might be caught out.
Valo does use the ultimate, but there's a couple more ultimates on the side of the Valkyries that collapsing onto the assassin and the jungler for the Shibaba Storm. Nets the Valks an additional kill, but now what will they go from there? It seems that maybe to the mid-Harpies or maybe a pick on Vi if he steps too far forward. Will just be the camp for now for the Valkyries.
This is where things can get a little more rusty. Rotwin's actually going to block himself in. You can drop the island, man, and run through, but Dingodile's just going to follow him.
Well, Vi does go down, maybe trying to step up to try and grab the kill. Dingo does find a double freeze, and that's a kill for the Shibaba Storm in the fight, but they have lost so much more in response. At the end of it all, a 1-for-3 trade, and maybe more of the 2 carries on the left side of the map. 3-0 and 2. Tiamat could quickly get out of control very quickly. But Malachi, the one in danger now. Worst Turtle will go in. Ultimate early from Malachi. Beads from Worst Turtle and a dive in by Nil. And this seems to be the answer for the Valkyries in every one of their engagements. Just give them sheer manpower comparatively. But now it's a pull towards the Primal Fury. 4 versus just 1. Rotwin's got to do a lot to steal this one away. We'll pull 2 off the Fury, but it resets back to the Storm anyways. And they grab that, but now Valo on the wrong side of the fight. 2 there. The wall is not going to stop these 2 from diving in. Valo has made it out for now. Warchi will dive in, but dive away immediately. The Valkyries cannot find any pick. Would have been enough to kill Warchi, but he's able to make it up just in time. And once again, we see the Valkyries dogpile on top of Malachi. 2 versus 1, but needs the execute to finish the kill there. Will be yet another one on the right side of the map for the Valks, and that's where their success lies. Find these picks, the objective play of the Storm, and the Storm are now going to check them on the Pyromancer as well. Valkyries do manage to grab that one. Dingodile gets pulled in, immediately uses the ultimate. And Malachi here to try and bail out his support. Worst Turtle is going in for the kill, finds the pull, and the execute is good from Nil to find their first kill in the team fight. And now still a continued dive through. Ray Shadow goes in aggressively with the rest of his squad. The second execute not going to land because Warchi has already taken that one. Make it 3 and 4. Now stacked up for the Valkyries. It's a Gold Fury for the Shibaba Storm, but finally an answer back for the Valks.
And not only that, a pretty massive answer at that. I mean, you get a huge swing of kills in your favor.
Ahead of Dingodile, so all of the attention that's been put on the Valkyries team just feels like it's kind of been squandered a bit. Sure, all these objectives are good, but now Mando can't survive the burst because look at this. The 2 assassins have 3 items each online. He's just going to get 2-tapped by anyone that walks up now.
And that was so well timed as well. Like, Aegis is just about to respawn, but you pick off one, Dingo Dial's alone in the jungle. That should be a pretty easy pick off, even with the freeze going their way. And it's just clean play from the Valkyries at this point. It started out rough. I mean, you highlighted it well. But with all those kills specifically falling onto Rotwin, and more importantly, those early kills that were in retaliation, the Valkyries picked.
Fire Giant started up by the Storm. Worst Turtle is going to be the first one here. He sees the ring and knows that this is happening now. Charging Typhoon early, but he hits 3 people with it. Now Ray Shadow and Nil have joined the fight. The Shibaba Storm get the Fire Giant. Can they get out of this dangerous situation? Valo, low HP, pulled back by Rotwin. Beads are gone and the landfall takes him down. While in the backline, Ray Shadow has found one of his own. Warchi, all the while split pushing on the left side of the map, has taken the towers over there. Dingo Dial, the last one still roaming through the jungle, but this may be the end of the line for the Emir. 3 kills on a tower on the left side, maybe more, as Warchi still goes in aggressive on Vi. Vi is low, Aegis is down, and jumping by Ray Shadow, stunned by Malachi, who finds one pick, but it is a 4-man sweep for the Valhalla Valkyries.
Now, you know, J-Mac, sometimes math, especially on cast, can be ill-advised. That just wasn't worth it, though. Right, you lose 4. That's a TKO on Malachi. Might as well have been a lot of room for growth in their team fight to make sure that the Storm can try to find success. But it's going to be an uphill battle now.
We're all over the Primal Fury for both of these teams. Malachi going to walk forward up against Nil on the Achilles. Sundering Axe now online for this Achilles. Nil will go forward. He will get frozen on the other side of the wall. The landfall won't pull anybody, but it will block off a small path before it's called off. Rotwin low in this fight. Ray Shadow goes in again, and the execute from Nil has netted the first of the match for Shibaba Storm in this fight. That's 2 now with Mando Warrior down, and then Valo is an execute threshold, but it's not needed because Ray Shadow has the damage for his team to take them down. It is just Malachi and Vi left alive. Worst Turtle not going to find the pull, and Malachi forced out, chased away by 3. It is a 3-for-1 trade for the Valks of the Fury.
The front line for the Storm cannot withstand the onslaught that the Valkyries are throwing at them. I mean, even being able to immune most of the CC wasn't enough to give them. I'm surprised that the Valkyries aren't just playing this aggressive. Just kill Vi, because there's not much they can do in response.
Vi has all relics, but didn't use a single one during this fight. He's able to take Rotwin down with him, but Malachi is now stuck between 3. Has Dingo Dial on the way through. Stun off the mark by Ray Shadow, and a dash good by Malachi, but how far will that take him? Maybe with Dingo Dial on the way, it's enough, but Dingo Dial is on the opposite end of this fight. It's Worst Turtle picking up the kill on the solo laner, and Ray Shadow, level 20 on the Tiamat, near full build.
You know, the way that they've been playing has been very flippant, and so if they can get this, if they can get in here for a 50-50, maybe that helps get them back into the game, but they're going to have to figure out their grouping a lot better.
Warchi's got a Runic Bomb. Valo tries to get out of the fight. Warchi goes back in alongside Nil to the back line. Mando Warrior, again, a casualty. A double execute for Nil. Valo pulled back in, falling low. Execute will be waiting on the ground for Valo, and as soon as he lands, he is gone. It's a triple kill for the solo laner of the Valkyries, and the Fire Giant pulled once more as Vi and Malachi once again the last 2 standing for this fight.
Honestly, outside of experience, the best thing that you got from killing Warchi is that he's got the Runic Bomb right now, and so that means that it's not going to be used. A small little win in an otherwise, again, fight that just does not work out well for you. Your front line is going in staggered, you don't have the backup, and then you keep sticking around for fights. I mean, why they're standing in the jungle here if you're the Storm. I can't imagine you're getting anything done with just the 2 of you going into that. So now you are completely staggered. You could have been pushing up waves, trying to get some experience. On left, there's some camps that need to be done. You're not taking that Fire Giant. And if you're trying to, then you're already having conversations about Hail Mary plays. I feel like the Storm aren't willing to concede when they've had these losses, and unfortunately right now, that's played right into the Valkyries' hands. They've been taking this clean. They've been getting aggressive well. Nil with a triple kill that fight. Look, you got 3 undying players, 8-0 and 12, 6-0. Suddenly that Phoenix is half health. It's not dead, but it is way, way lower than what you've been able to do. You have to essentially win the team fight, then you can look at the objective here if you are the Valkyries.
Wall blocks away Nil. Ray Shadow goes to the back line to dive against Mando. And Mando does not have the relics to sustain through. Worst Turtle dives in. Vi is gone, Dingo's gone, and Valo once more. It is just Malachi the lone one standing, and he alone cannot defend against this Titan, as it should fall down. And the Valhalla Valkyries, with, again, this double assassin composition, pull ahead for game number 1, and they will start off their set with a nice win.
And here's how I think this one needs to be framed. The Valks got 4 times your kill.
All this talk about double assassin, which assassin gets off to a better start, duo lane, you know, Loki, Robin, Nem, Naja, who's going where. By the end of the game, we could just, likely it's just going to end up being Tiamat and Merlin trying to edge one another out for top damage in the game. We'll see. It is edge of defeat for the Chibalba Storm. You got to win 2 straight to stay alive in the tournament. We'll see if they get it done in game 2.
And it's the double assassin once again for the Valkyries, but this time the Storm will join them. Try and secure this blue buff. Vi will go into the quadrupedal stance. Nil still holding on to the damage from the dash. Can this blue be saved? No, it will not. Now it's a dive in on top of Vi. Will quickly walk himself out. The X2 body blocked by Valo, and now the fight is turned to 2v3, but every single one of these is falling and falling worse as Nil dives way to the depths near the tier 2 tower to pick up 1 kill. Dingodile rotates over, but it's too little too late as the Valkyries have struck first blood.
There's a moment in
this
that
kind of feels like it goes back again to a little bit of what Elion was talking about in his post-game interview. He said this is still Smite. You can still go for these blue buffs, but who needs a blue when you can get a kill on Warchi? But Warchi's taking Valo up into the sky. He needs some good ring toss bounce to turn this 2v1 into now a 1v1. And with backup of Ray Shadow, Mando Warrior unable to get the kill on Warchi, who turns a bad situation into gold.
If Warchi dies there, could have picked up a kill there. We're maybe talking about the Fury and having a conversation about how they absolutely demolished it. Instead, what we're looking at is just some good old-fashioned aggression, maybe an overstay.
Definitely need to get a kill on Raw when he has barely any mana until that med goes through. Gets the ultimate, but it's too little and too late for the Maui. Valkyries sticking around maybe a little bit longer than they needed to. But again, now down a team fight ultimate. Let's see if they can find any pick onto somebody. Dingodile does get grabbed and immediately silences out, but now he's in the middle of 3, has the dash, but it does not get him far enough as Worst Turtle collapses in with the rest of the squad. Another invade, this time on the red buff, will not be successful for the Valks, but they still got their 1 pick to put Dingo down.
It's not this crazy pop-off 10-0 right now play, but I love this Nemesis so much. I mean, just the way Worst Turtle's been playing it, not only aggressive in the jungle, but recognizing that you're slippery, you've got survivability, you've got safety because you got a Maui around you, but also using it so well. I mean, Dingodile, most supports in a circumstance like that, they're at least walking away, and maybe you kill them, but you have to invest so much more. You just melt people with the Nemesis.
Warchi fighting against Mando Warrior, who pops his Aegis a bit early in that fight. Not sure what he was expecting to come from there, but Warchi doesn't have his ult, does have beads, but nothing more than that. Beads will not save you from the damage of these 2 assassins for the Chivalva Storm. They know this is happening. It's a collapse on the Warchi. He will take 1 up to the sky while the Fury is still being done by the rest of the team. Lands down to the Dharmic Pillars. Warchi is still living through all of this. The defense has paid off just enough for him to delay this fight, but there needs to be more attention towards Valor. There needs some help towards Ray's Shadow, and that's the collapse that the Chibalba Storm need. A double kill for Vi, nearly a triple kill as he throws 1 shot for the Primordial Onslaught, and that will be a triple for the mid, and maybe now a Fury, but Worst Turtle's looking for some of his own, gets a turnaround kill onto Vala, but now Worst Turtle is stuck around for a little too long. Heals up quite a bit of damage thrown his way, but there's still too much of it coming back.
I need to see him go for a Fury here. I mean, Mando's a little low. You should still have the damage and at least the tankiness to be able to pick it up. Take your kills, turn them into something massive.
Of the map. Rodwin is there, can slow this one down with a well-placed landfall, but the Worst Turtle walks in slowly, steals that one away. Landfall will be good for Rodwin. Worst Turtle lives too? Rodwin and Worst Turtle not only steal the Fury.
Still personally prefer what the Maui is going to be bringing to the table. I think that now you've hit this level 15, your Ganesh can actually exist and get stuff done.
Well, Mando has used his only escape, but Worst Turtle dashed into the wall. Doesn't matter, he has just enough cooldown to get that slice and dice back up. And now it's a 5 versus 4 for the Valkyries. Landfall will pull Dingodile back out of position. Vi is up against Nil, but now has to back up from Valo. This Achilles that felt like it was so difficult to take down is looking a little bit more vulnerable in these team fights. And with Malachi showing up, the Chivalva Storm are able to repel the Valkyries and leave him at only a single kill so far.
You know, we'd mentioned big differences, and maybe this is a thought that needs to be held on to. Primal Fury being danced about with. I'm surprised warchi went in with the stun, but they've got a 4v2 in the burn. Oh my god!
Dingodile gets caught out of the Ohm and can't get to a dash quick enough with the CC chain, but keep your eyes on Valo. Still sticking around the backside. It's now all 5 back for the Valkyries, but who cares about the Fury? Maybe it's just the fight instead. Vi, no more Aegis available to the Tiamat. Beads are down, but does have to jump over the wall. The fire on Malachi. The damage in the backline on the Valo. It's not enough from warchi. He needs some extra help from Worst Turtle. And the rest of the squad, and Malachi is left alone. On the way is Mando Warrior, but they cannot save this Tiamat. Able to find a pick on the Worst Turtle, but that was 4, I guess technically 5 since Mando died earlier on for just the lone kill on the Worst Turtle. Can Mando make the hero play around the Primal Fury? Will throw out the decoy, but that is just not. Puts him down low. He'll be able to resustain with his stance switches. But now warchi going in aggressive. The Dingodile will take him up into the sky, but he's going to need some help on landing, and he's got plenty of it between the Merlin and the rest of the squad. Ray Shadow takes down the Elephant. That is a 45-second respawn time for the support of the Shibalba Storm. But look at the collapse in, the path cut off on one front. But now, with no HP for Vi, he is out of the fight. A dive over the wall by Rodwin. Mando and Valo are also going to be TKO'd from the fight. It's just Malachi, the only one left standing to try and stop the fire right away. But he's being zoned away by Nil, by Rodwin. The rest of this Valks squad now funneling back to the fire.
The majority of the initial engage on that fight is very straightforward. warchi goes in, brings an elephant to the sky, comes back down, the elephant's dead. it is as simple as it gets. Dingodile had nothing to work with there. The rest of that fight
is so oppressive up against the Shibalba Storm that they've just not found an answer to him in 2 games. I mean, we talk about picks and bans up against the Valkyries. We're looking at the set, the Ao Kuang. As this weekend goes on, this Achilles may be something that a couple teams should look at as well. Vi gonna get some help, but he is dead before his relics can come back up. Dingodile, he's gone as well. That's a double kill for Ray Shadow. And 50 seconds on respawn. The Valkyries can just take this Phoenix if they want. And they might even be able to just run up into the Titan room, but they don't have minions, so this is a slow burn of the bird. And instead, the Valkyries will now turn their sights.
It all depends on positioning of the Storm and really a lot of their fight back. I think that they are going to have to figure out where it is, and it might have to be a Hail Mary play up here in the FG pit.
Malachi dives in. Nil will zone the other 4 from the fight, but Malachi's doing a lot in the background. Massive landfall by Rodwin to start this fight, but Nil is finally gone. That's the one that the Shibalba Storm have got to take out in this fight, but Valo gets turned on. Worst Turtle is taking down them piece by piece. There are 3 gone from the Storm off an amazing initiation from the Valhalla Valkyries. Vi will not be able to live through, but he at least takes down 1 with him.
Man, you said it. There's not much to break down. He hit a huge ult. Rodwin pulls them all. He gets the damage necessary. Oh, and they get to walk forward. Look, that's just so good. And immediately, I was a little curious. I didn't see a lot from Ray Shadow, but the damage ended up being over there. I have to give another shout out because, yes, there was a huge, huge landfall play. But I think another one that ends up happening there is Worst Turtle, just being Worst Turtle. Gets a double kill off on the side, plays the Nemesis incredibly well, opens up an opportunity for the team to continue getting aggressive. Even though you make some trades that are maybe unfavorable, Nil takes a lot of damage to the